Okay, we have the basketball court, basketball, and basketball stand. Next, we can think about shooting. In the game, shooting requires knowing the direction and strength of the shot. The direction of the shot can be determined by the viewing angle. How do players perceive the strength of a shot? Friends who often play games must know that we can use a progress bar to display the strength of a shot. When your finger presses on the phone screen, it starts to accumulate strength, and the progress bar becomes longer. When you release your finger, the progress bar stops growing and the basketball is thrown out with the corresponding strength. After knowing the implementation logic, we first need to make a dynamic UI. In the Asserts folder of the project window, create a new UI folder to store UI files. In the UI folder, create a new UI file and name it Progress. Double-click to open. Drag the progress bar base image to the UI interface. Adjust its position and size. We set its length to 200 and height to 20. In the hierarchy window in the lower left corner, change the node name to Container as the container of the progress bar. Set the anchor point of the container node to the top center. Drag the image used to display the strength onto the container node. Change the name to Strength. Set its stretch to be fully stretched in both horizontal and vertical directions. Change its image type property to Filled, Fill method to Horizontal, and Fill origin to Left. Drag the fill amount slider to feel the changes in the progress bar. When the time comes, the changes in the strength of the shot can be displayed by modifying the fill amount value of this node. Press Ctrl+S to save. Go back to the scene window. Drag progress.ui to the left hierarchy window to get a progress node. Create a scripts folder in the Assets folder of the project window to store custom scripts. Create a TypeScript script in the Scripts folder, and name it Progress. Drag this script to the Progress node. Double-click to open the Progress script. We need to implement in the custom script that when the screen is touched, the progress bar starts to grow. When the finger is released, the progress bar stops growing. Therefore, we need to get the UI component on the current node first. Then get the canvas on the UI component. Then add a listener to the canvas. Run the test and find that it is not triggered. There is no error in the console. One thing to note here is that in our game engine, adding event listeners is invalid without the raycast target attribute. If you need to trigger an event on the current component, you need to check the raycast target attribute. Therefore, here we can only change another way to achieve it. When designing the UI, we add a full screen image and then add an event listener to this image. In the UI editing interface, right-click the root node. Select Create General Image and name it Mask. Set the stretch property of the mask image to cover the top, bottom, left, and right. Set the texture in the image of the mask image to none. Press Ctrl+S to save. Return to the code editor. Get the image component of the mask node. Change the previous event added to the canvas to add events to the mask. Ctrl+S to save. Run and switch to the console window. Press and release the mouse in the game window. Found that there is output in the console window, indicating that we have successfully added event monitoring. Next, we need to make the progress bar longer when the screen is touched. When released, the progress bar stops growing. How to deal with it? Everyone think about it. Here, the two states of pressing and releasing are equivalent to a switch. We can add an identification variable in the script to indicate whether it is in the charging state. Then, when the touch starts, set this value to true, and when the touch ends, change this value to false. In the onUpdate method, Modify the progress bar fill value according to the charging state. Press Ctrl plus S to save the code. Run and test. Press the mouse in the game window, the progress bar will grow longer, release the mouse to stop growing. However, students always think that a green top is unlucky. Then let's change it to make the progress bar look red. Open progress.ui. Select the strength node. Find the image used as the progress bar base image. Drag it to the texture of the image component in the inspector window on the right. Then change the color to red. Press Ctrl plus S to save. Run the test. Do you feel a surge of blood in your veins? At this point, the strength UI has been completed. Let's think about what to do next.